Hey guys, welcome to another show of Surviving the Badge.
Cheers.
We're at the bar, and this is the third show we're taping tonight, so the guys are feeling no pain, so here we go. Hey, tonight we're going to be talking about the Marion County Florida murders. This is a really whacked out case. You're not going to want to miss what's going on with this episode, so we appreciate you being here, and we will be back in just a second.
All right, as of today, we have 28 officers fallen, brothers and sisters, fallen in the line of duty. There was a senior patrol officer out of New Orleans, Trevor Abney. He was shot in 2020. He was in his patrol car in New Orleans, and somebody going by in a, just a little, it was a little,
Honda or whatever.
No, it was like a, how where you have little, I don't know, just a little open carry, little.
We don't know.
I don't know. I'm anyway. So he pops up. He pops up and starts shooting at the officer sitting in his car, just randomly.
Wow.
And he's sick.
Pedicab.
That's yours. Thank you. Pedicab. And he unfortunately succumbed to his injuries just recently.
3 years.
Yeah,
2020.
2020. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So,
well, God bless him.
so
his family.
Senior Patrol Officer Abney, rest in peace.
Here's to you, brother.
I've got a training note. I've noticed that a lot of the firearms are down, deaths are down, but there's been a lot of shootings at traffic stops. So please be careful in these traffic stops. And it drives me crazy. The public's like, why is it so tense on these traffic stops? Well, because cops get killed all the time.
Over 50% of our cops that die in a traffic stop situation.
Exactly.
Or close to it.
Can you tell me what a routine traffic stop is?
There is none.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. 2 officers on April 8th got killed during the same traffic stop. So we want.
Well, you see it all the time, and unfortunately on YouTube, a lot of this stuff is out there, and I mean it happens all the time, man. A lot of them survive, thank God, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
All right, so God bless you and everybody that's out there wearing that uniform and that badge and toting this job. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thank you for being out there. Yeah, we appreciate you. John, we have a beer moment, and man, this is one of my favorites.
Well,
Good.
he doesn't know. He likes Voodoo Ranger. Have you had Juicy Haze IPA?
Yeah, that's one we had.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
Yeah.
That was Juice Sports.
Whatever, but I've had
Agree to
this
disagree.
one. I went and bought this one, and it's amazing. Love it.
This is good. Is it supposed to be Juice Haze? Is it supposed to be a sour? Because it's not really
No,
sour.
no, it's just got a little bit of a juice in it. Yeah, it's a New Belgium. Love it. Love it.
It's not as good as it's a little more hoppy than
the Juice Force. You're right. The other one I think was an orange can or something. But I did buy this one. I was wondering why it tasted a little different when I bought this one.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Juice Force. They don't have the Juice Force.
Oh.
So, I think they do.
They do now?
Anyway,
Okay, cool.
I'm going to give this. I'm going to drop it down from the Juice Force. I'm going to give it 7.5.
Yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm a lager drinker by trade.
You are, and you are the sex appeal of the show. Everybody knows that, right? Comment down below. Agree that John is the sex appeal of the show.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7. I'm enjoying it. It's good.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. And I'm not an IPA guy, but I do like it a lot. I like it.
It's not a lawnmower.
Is it a lawnmower beer?
It is a lawnmower beer.
No, it's not. No,
But, well, to me it is. And I wouldn't drink a ton of it on lawnmower, but I got a riding lawnmower, so it only takes about, 25 minutes to mow my yard.
This is a coming home after work beer.
Yeah, and a big stogie or something.
right.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I mean, a lawnmower beer is you just had to use a push mower to mow the lawn.
Right.
And you just want something to quench your thirst.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's-
This is a little more than that.
Do you mow your yard now?
I do, yeah.
You do now?
Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
All right. So my question for you guys is, does Sheriff Billy Woods fall into the category of Sheriff Wayne Ivey and Sheriff Grady Judd?
He Based on what I've seen from this incident,
And
his
LT, go ahead and
reaction-
pull a picture up of
his reaction to the press, yes, he has now put himself in the top tier of sheriffs.
Florida sheriffs.
Florida sheriffs.
Okay.
But is he up there with what's his name from out west?
Oh,
Joe Arpaio?
No.
oh, you're talking about
David
Milwaukee,
Clark?
David Clark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Milwaukee, yeah.
Yeah,
Love
I
that
still
guy.
think
I got his phone number, just so you know.
Love that guy.
I still think that Grady Judge is America's sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
If America had a sheriff, I would vote for Grady Judd.
And then Dwayne Ivey,
Yeah.
right below him, and
Dwayne
then this
Ivey,
guy.
yeah.
But to me, Clark is up there.
pretty badass.
He's the master, man.
So, if you guys don't know, if you guys aren't from Florida, recently there's a county just a little bit northwest of where we are. It's a rural county, a lot of woods and stuff, and it's probably pretty boring because recently a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old got arrested for first-degree murder.
Yes, they did.
What the fuck's going on with these 12-year-olds? A 12-year-old shooting somebody in the back of the head.
Wait, why don't they just make it against the law for 12-year-olds to have a gun?
Oh, holy shit! You've solved it all.
Or make it against the law for the
16-year-old?
parents to keep control of their weapons so the 12-year-old didn't get hold of the gun.
They got them through burglaries.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, the guns.
Where were the parents when they were doing the
Yeah,
burglaries?
exactly. So these three shitheads. Is that?
Did your
appropriate? Am I allowed to say that?
child ever commit a burglary?
Not at all.
Did yours?
No.
No. Oh, hey, mine either.
Yeah. So these three little effers,
Miscreants.
misguided citizens, were misunderstood children. Were
okay.
arrested recently, beginning of this month, for 3 counts of first-degree capital murder. And what essentially happened was, like I said, this area, Marion County, pretty rural, not a whole lot going on.
It's the Ocala area, if you want to look it up, if that's easier to find. It's the Ocala
Ocala
area.
National Forest.
Right.
Right, and the forest and everything else.
So,
yeah.
so apparently, our 3 victims were with these 3
Miscreants.
at some time in the evening that this happened. They were going around committing. Let me just narrow it down. There was a 16-year-old suspect who was not at the same time, but they were going around. They were going to try to sell a gun to this individual, and when this individual got in a car, he showed the money and they robbed him. All right, and then when the guy got out, they shot some rounds at him. They took off. After this happened, the kids who were arrested were worried that the victims in the car were going to rat them out. So what they did is they shot and murdered them. There was 5 of them.
Is that witness tampering?
Slightly.
Just asking.
Yeah. So they picked up the third guy. So you've got a 12-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And I teach high school, and I can't imagine that's middle school. Middle school. I don't even have 12-year-olds, and that's a freaking middle school kid who later told detectives that I shot the girl who was in the trunk because I was told to, because she was going to rat us out.
You know, it sounds so shocking to us, but you go to some of these humongous cities like Miami, you know, and Chicago, New York, and this and that. There's freaking gangbangers out there shooting all the time, and they're 10, 11, 12 years old. You know, and it is very shocking to us for this to happen, but they see that shit all the time, man. It's crazy what it's coming to.
I
It's
can't
insane.
imagine being a cop now.
Oh, hell
in
no.
Chicago,
Hell no.
in Detroit,
The Bears.
in Baltimore,
Yeah, I know.
New York. Yeah,
Yeah. Crazy.
it's like
Detroit.
what? Yeah.
Ugh.
Portland, Oregon.
You're right.
Anyway, so so they shot and killed They're driving down the road.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm dumbfounded. So
Had an epiphany.
So picture this: white car, all six in the vehicle.
Why's it got to be white?
It just happened to be white.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be white. Just happened to be white. The victim's car, who's driving, she's driving down the road. While she's driving, they shoot her in the back of the head. She crashes into a dumpster.
Jeez.
They drag her out of the car, drop her off at the dumpster, jump in the car, and take off. They shoot another victim who was in the car, and dump him in the woods. And it's a little weird because I was reading this. Did you read about this case? There was a third victim who was in the trunk, and according to the news reports, she was in there willingly. She's in the trunk, like smoking away. They pull over after they killed these two. I know.
What?
I don't know.
I always
Did you read that too?
climbed
though?
into a trunk. Yeah.
I just wanted to go along for the ride.
I know. So they pull over after they killed
Holy
these other
cow.
two. They get out, and she's in the trunk. And this is where the 12-year-old shoots and kills the girl in the trunk. And he told the detective, "Well, I was told by the other guy if I don't shoot him, they track me down to kill me, my family, and everything."
Well, how do they know then that she was in there willingly?
That's just because apparently when they were all arrested, they talked to detectives and
okay.
they told
Okay, I gotcha.
they told them this as they were, the whole story. We're driving down the road.
right.
There's 6 of us in the car.
Yeah.
So it just I'm dumbfounded. They finally took the car. They put it in like a swamp, partially submerged.
Right.
And then took off. And it wasn't long before they found these knuckleheads. The third one, who was 16, it took another week or so.
Well, I thought it was a 12-year-old who was the longest one.
No, it was a 16-year-old who took the longest because he hauled ass out of there.
Bolted.
Yeah.
I don't
The
blame him.
17-year-old and the 16-year-old cop. So 12-year-old, should they be charged as an adult?
Yes.
For an act like this, I absolutely agree. It'll never happen, but
Well,
yeah,
I
agree.
I think they did, didn't they?
I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I guarantee since they released the picture, they
Right.
have to be charged as an
Okay,
adult.
charging an adult, and okay, that's fine. Where are they going to put him?
Prison.
Yeah, you can't put a fucking
Absolutely.
12-year-old
Youthful
in a
offender.
prison.
Youthful offender. Absolutely. You protect them, but you put them there
I was gonna
because
say.
legally.
And now all the expense comes back on us and everything
Were you
else.
working
Jesus.
when I arrested that 14-year-old for stabbing his grandmother to death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't working, but I was there.
Yeah. So I had a 14-year-old.
Meaning I was I
Yeah.
was still at the job. Yes.
14-year-old stabs his grandmother to death. Charged him as an adult. He went to adult prison. It's called a youth for offender. And this 12-year-old will be in adult prison as a youthful offender for a zillion years. Hopefully, yeah. So back to the sheriff, Billy Woods. He was asked by a local reporter, and I don't know what the hell, gets in the minds of these people who ask these. Oh, don't you think it was the gun's fault? Should we have more gun control? And so if you want to put that up, he's chastising a reporter talking about gun control. Or John, did you watch this part?
Well, the best thing was he was talking about how it's not the gun's fault.
Right.
It's the fact that we coddle our kids and they don't. There's no repercussions. There's no penalties. There's no nothing. And one of the things I loved about what he said, and I'm just paraphrasing, but he said, "My kids know that if they screw up, the barber has my permission to beat their ass."
Whoop their ass. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean,
I love it. Absolutely.
But we all
That's old school right there.
yeah, that's
all
awesome.
our kids knew that. I guarantee, and I promise you, I did tell my children, if you get arrested, the last person you want to call is me.
Right.
Yep.
Because you will be much safer in that jail cell than coming home with me if you get arrested.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
That's what I told everyone of mine too.
Yeah.
Gee, maybe that's why none of mine were ever arrested.
So I don't
Yours?
No.
Yours?
No.
Oh, hey.
All of ours are productive members of society.
with either degrees or excellent jobs
Or
and,
both.
and
Yep.
or both. Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Imagine that. Put a boot in that ass and it works miracles.
I've said this a while for a long time, and I probably stole it from somebody, and it's harsh, but I firmly believe this, that shitty kids make shitty parents who raise shitty kids.
Absolutely.
Well, here's what I heard.
And there's an exception to every rule.
Absolutely. 100%.
There's kids that grew up in a shitty environment that become phenomenal freaking parents, and their kids are phenomenal kids.
But here's
But
something.
it's the exception to the rule. Yeah.
If you don't raise your kids, you will end up raising your grandchildren.
Right.
If you raise your kids, you will get to enjoy your grandchildren.
And see, part of the problem, because I know part of the issue with schools, you try to, enforce, and I'm lucky. The situation I'm in, phenomenal. I would not be teaching in a high school if I taught English, math.
I wish I could show it.
LT came to my classroom.
I'll just flash it. There it is.
LT came to my classroom the other day, and I teach a criminal justice academy, and I have these
Law and government.
Yeah, these kids are phenomenal. If I taught math, English, any of the core classes, I wouldn't be teaching.
Here's what was cool. I went in and I spoke about building or starting a new police department. And I was in there and I talked for 30 minutes or whatever it was, the class period time. It went really quickly. And I'll tell you what, some of these kids out there, you're doing a great job with them kids.
One time I was in, back when we were working, in briefing, and the one guy is always on his phone during briefing. Briefing is when the sergeant is going through. If you go back to Hill Street Blues, Phil Lester House,
I love
Going over the bolos, the wanted people, the
you go
areas.
over all
the
the stuff, and
before.
hey, let's be careful out there.
Right.
But the one guy is sitting in the back on his phone the entire time during briefing. So one day, and it worked out perfectly, because my kids had like a little pocket magnadoodle.
Okay. Right.
So during briefing, I'm sitting there playing with the magnadoodle. And he wasn't my sergeant at the time. It was a different sergeant. But he walks into briefing because the sergeants converse, share.
Yeah, share what happened during the day and all.
And he comes in and he looks at me, play with my magnadoodle, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "There's no reason I have to pay attention to the sergeant." And he's like, "You're such an asshole." But that gave the perfect opportunity for the sergeant to say, "Oh yeah, and by the way, if you've got a goddamn cell phone, put it away during briefing."
Right.
Yeah, they used to aggravate me when I was doing the briefing, trying to go over everything, and somebody's sitting there, on their phone or whatever. A lot of times, if I saw it, I would just stop, and then pretty soon they'd look up and they'd go, "Oh shit, why did he stop?" And I'd be looking at them and I'd go,
That's exactly what I do in class.
I'd go, "Really?" It's just, or I'd have guys, half asleep in briefing.
Yeah.
So I'd slam my hand down or something, and they'd be like,
Or someone who remained aimless who fell asleep on his water bottle.
and it slipped out and the water busted his chin.
Oh, that was great.
I never had that.
Hold on. JT.
Hope you're watching.
Love you, babe.
I never had that problem because when I was on patrol, we didn't have cell phones.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
For the 30 seconds you were on.
Yeah, right.
1989.
Anyway, so we hopefully one of these days we'll figure out this freaking kid problem so that 12-year-olds aren't committing murder.
And getting guns.
Oh, so the guns were stolen in burglaries that these knuckleheads were committing. So, are we going to solve this problem, John?
Well, until we start actually prosecuting people and giving legitimate sentences, because if you want me to, I will tell you, fleeing and eluding should be an automatic 10-year sentence. Battery on an LEO.
Yeah, because look at all the
10-year
lives you
sentence.
put in danger.
I mean, all these
add some more minimum mandatories.
We have to not eliminate minimum mandatories. We have to increase minimum mandatories and make those minimum mandatories much larger.
Yeah.
Because if you've got the bad guy on the corner and he gets convicted of battery on an LEO and he goes away for 10 to 15 years, all of a sudden everyone on the corner is going to realize, oh crap.
Yeah.
Who in this room? Raise your hand. Who in this room is willing to pay more taxes to build more prisons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. Back to this just real quick. I noticed a little note on here that I just saw. I didn't see it earlier. You said that the 12, and if you covered this, I apologize. I missed it. I was trying to pay attention to what was the next feed. The 12-year-old told police he did not think one of the victims was dead after he shot her. Did you cover that?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you said that the 3 suspects drove the car to a pond where it was later found partially submerged.
Yeah.
So they were trying to hide the bodies or whatever in the pond.
One victim was found near the dumpster. One was found
Right.
alongside the road, and one was found in the vehicle that was partially submerged. So it was obviously purposeful. They were trying to hide. And
Not only did they
disguise
make a plan to go kill these people, but they made a plan to try and hide all this crap.
this. Exactly.
Wow.
So, LT, we're going to solve this problem of.
Hold on, you said after the shooting, Silvernail. Who's Silvernail? Is he the
victim.
16-year-old?
No,
Oh, the victim. Okay.
He didn't say anything.
Was transported to a nearby hospital where she was later pronounced dead.
That was
Okay.
the one who was found next to the dumpster.
Okay,
She's the
gotcha.
driver
Okay,
of the
10-4.
vehicle. I
Gotcha.
didn't mention any
Gotcha.
names.
But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Woods basically blamed, your Sheriff Woods blamed societal and school failures for the tragedy, which is correct.
Yeah.
We have got to start holding people accountable for
Even juveniles.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't, then they're going to realize, and like I said, I teach at school. If we don't hold kids accountable, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, I like what you said here. The quote: "Our school districts, not just here across the state, and I think across the nation, and across the nation, need to stop minimizing the action of their students, hold them accountable. That's where their failure is." And I totally, absolutely agree.
you go
And
back-
it's not only the students; it's at home.
Yeah.
The fucking kids at home, man.
But I mean, go back to the Parkland shooting,
Right.
okay, where law enforcement was called to the suspect's
Just
home,
dozens of times.
and they never did anything
Yeah.
because we don't want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
this is what happens when you don't enforce the law. You don't.
Absolutely.
You don't take.
Look at the increase in crimes throughout the nation. When you minimize the penalties, then people are going to get. Well, I can get away with everything.
But now you have criminals are actually recruiting juveniles to commit the crimes because they know they're going to get lesser sentences.
All right, so real quick on here, he said earlier during the press conference he does not know what the solution is, but the bad guy's going to get a gun no matter what laws you put in place.
100%.
I agree with that 100% because this is a nation where we are allowed to own and possess and carry, in most cases, guns. But I can guarantee you one thing. If somebody knows that if they commit a crime with a gun, wasn't there 10-20 life?
I think there still is.
What happened to
I
it?
don't know.
It freaking disappeared. You
It's
don't
not
hear
being-
about it
it's
anymore.
It's not being televised.
There used to be an
advertised.
ad at least once every couple of days that popped up on the freaking TV that said 10-20 life.
So you're dating yourself, Lieutenant. Most people don't watch TV anymore, except unless you're 70 or older. People are streaming. They're not watching regular TV. They're not.
Okay,
They're watching.
so it should almost be a mandatory message across the streaming things when they do the ads for the Viagra or whatever the hell else they're doing.
Yeah.
That should be a mandatory once a show. That should pop up 10-20 life.
10-20 life was, have a gun committing a crime, it's 10 years. use a gun, it's 20. Kill someone, it's 30. Or shoot someone, it's
Life.
30.
It's life.
Or
30 to
20.
It's
life.
life.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it's life, yeah.
It's life. Yeah. No, I agree. But anyway, the everybody says, oh, well, it's gun control, gun control. That's the only thing that's going to stop all this. Wrong.
We have more guns than we have people.
That's
in this
right.
country.
And the only thing that's going to stop is law-abiding persons owning guns.
Yep.
Now all you're going to have is criminals owning guns.
I
That's the
love
only thing
every
that's gonna
time I
stop.
watch
Ridiculous.
an article where some scumbag is trying to rob somebody and they get
Blasted.
Blasted. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
What's
Like the
play
guy.
silly games, win silly prizes.
I know it's on YouTube, but I don't know how you can look it up, but it was some guy from Chicago who came down here and tried to rob a convenience store in Florida. And
And he got his ass blasted.
well, no, he didn't get his ass blasted, but the convenience store clerk, pulled out a gun. And he's like, "Come on, dude! I'm from Chicago. You can't do that." He's like,
Only the bad guys are allowed to have guns.
do that.
That's freaking awesome.
All right,
That's
hey
awesome.
guys, appreciate you guys.
You want to do the sponsors?
Yeah, we should
Oh,
probably do the
shoot.
sponsors.
So if you don't want to live in Marion County, and you want to come
Or
to
Chicago.
or Chicago or New York or freaking San
Good
Francisco,
job.
and you want to come over to Central Florida, please contact Kristen and Tom Clem Realtors through Exit Advantage Realty. In other words, exit the hell out of where you're living and come to Central Florida. We'd love to have you. Yes, we have some crime, but at least we have sheriffs like this sheriff that will take care of it. So Kristen and Tom Clem Realtors. Kristen is a former school teacher. They have a beautiful family. Tom, I'll talk about him in a minute. These are
Is Tom
wonderful
beautiful?
people. Please contact them at the numbers down below. We appreciate our sponsors very, very much. Thank you. And we have Clem & Company Property Investments. If you're ready to cash out, get out of that house. It's a money pit. You just can't take it anymore. You want to sell it, or it was willed to you in a family will or whatever, and you want to sell it and make a quick buck. Please call Clem & Company Property Investments. Tom runs that company, and he is top notch. Not only is he a full-time law enforcement officer, he's also a veteran Marine and a hell of a nice guy, and he's a very good friend of mine. Please contact them. The information's there. It's also down below. We appreciate every one of you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We appreciate it. Guys, we're
When are
trying
we
to
going to
get
be able to smoke cigars in your bar, man?
Never. We're trying to get 500.
Mine.
This
We're
guy.
almost there. We're almost there at 500. We appreciate it if you share it and like and subscribe. Share it with your friends, guys. Tell them, hey, these guys are great. They laugh, they joke, they cut up, they argue. They drink beers. Whatever else. It's a great show. We appreciate everything.
Join us at the bar.
Join us at the bar, and just remember, at Surviving the Badge.
Still got your 6.
Still got your 6.
Thank you.